We all want to be remarkable.
Your business demands it. Our communities crave it.
You know you're on the right trajectory when opportunities launch you into unexpected directions you never thought possible. Join me, Kate Volman,
and fellow marketing strategist Kyle Sexton every week as we explore ideas you're not considering.
Share stories from others like you who despise mediocrity, and discover how whatever you're building has the power to
change your business,
change your community,
change your trajectory.
Yeah, we've got 35 episodes in the tank now, Kate, and it's easy to get overwhelmed when you're trying to publish all these things, because hey, we're doing this ourselves as we learn, and soon I'll be outsourcing a lot of the production stuff, but until then, you got to keep it small, keep it all, right? You gotta walk before you run.
Yeah.
Like we always say in business, if you don't know, if you haven't done something, you don't know what questions to ask of your contractors when you outsource, right? So I believe that as you're building a business, it's important to know how something is done so that you know how to manage other people doing it.
Yeah.
I know that you've spent some time working with your team as you moved into your new role, working with business, working in Floyd Consulting, knowing what people are doing so you know how to support them.
Yes. Yeah, and it's, oh, go ahead.
My list of trajectory stuff, it's easy to get overwhelmed. Things get overly complicated.
Yeah.
Simplicity. You see what I did there, Kate? That's our theme for this episode: simplicity.
Simplicity. Yes. I love that. I just think, that's been a kind of an overall theme for my team over the past, well, since January, since we have our strategic plan, and now when we're working on stuff, it's so easy to come up with new ideas and great ideas and things that would benefit our clients, that would work and that would be good. However, we start putting on all this additional work, which it's a lot, right? Like it's, so we really, when we're working as a team, I'm always like, all right, we got to keep it simple and keep it essential. That's where we start, and that's where you're able to really build so that you're, doing good work and you're not feeling like you're overwhelmed and you're trying to get so many things accomplished in a day. Because we often forget that we only have so much time in a day, and we think we often think we could do more in a day than we actually can. A day, a week, a year.
My boss used to ask us to put on the green hat when we were doing, it was a way to bring simplicity into the idea realm. So like you said, it's easy to come up with new ideas, and to that I go, squirrel.
Yes.
And when you're looking for tools to give your team the parameters around ideas, the green hat, the 6 thinking hats might be a good way to go. So let me share with you the 6 thinking hats, because they're supposed to allow for creativity without going all over the place on ideas, because you don't need more ideas, you need simplicity. And if the ideas are already there and we just got to dig them up on how to simply move us forward and get us out of a rut, the 6 thinking hats can be very, very helpful. So when you're leading a team, you ask them to put on their green hat. The green hat focuses on creativity, possibilities, alternatives, and new ideas. But at some point, you got to take off that green hat and you got to put on the white hat. The white hat is just about facts. It's just information. What do we need to know about what we're trying to solve, what we're trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish? just information. The yellow hat is about optimism, and it's about value and benefit. So positive, optimistic. But the black hat is judgment. The black hat is devil's advocate. So you've been in these team conversations where somebody brings up an idea and goes, "That's never going to work."
Yep.
So when you have a team environment where you're disciplining your thinking using tools like the 6 thinking hats, what you're doing is you're preventing that. You're saying these are the rules for this particular time. And we're all wearing the yellow hat right now. We are yellow hat. So black hat, get out. Right? So but it's important to have that time too for everybody to be thinking about the black hat. What's really helpful about this is, there's some personalities in team environments where that one person is always playing devil's advocate. Well, I'm here to tell you, guess what? The devil doesn't need an advocate. He's doing just fine by himself. So, but that one person who really is always talking about the downside, and what come to find out, a lot of people who are like this, they don't realize that it's perceived as negative. But for some, for some positive, upside, shiny, bright, sunny day people like you and me, Kate Bowman, that shit is just a downer. So, but it is important to play a role. They view themselves as safe, as practical, and playing, and they see themselves as keeping people out of trouble. I think many of them view it as kind of a motherly. No, don't go that close to the edge, people. You're going to get hurt, right? So the red hat, just to finish this thought out, the red hat is all about hunches and intuitions. I feel. It's about emotion. It's not about black hat or yellow hat, positive or negative, but it's about recognizing how we're feeling and how our intuition is playing into it. Also, it's about personal opinion. I don't like that fill in the blank. I don't like that this does this. I don't feel, it doesn't feel good to me. And then the blue hat is used to manage and control all of the process around your ideas and your group thinking. So that's a little bit about how to bring some simplicity into using the 6 thinking hats, using simplicity to bringing some simplicity into your creation, your ideas, and especially in team dynamic where they can run away from you.
That's a lot of hats. It's a lot of different.
It's only 6 hats.
It's a lot of hats. I think, when it comes to people have really great ideas, and when we start to kind of everyone's good at like the brainstorming, right? Like the idea creation, and so, I mean, essentially what you're saying is like you have to continue to what?
Not everybody's great at that.
Well, I think when you get,
you're really good at that.
Well, I think when you get people into a room, it's even certain people that you're right. Not everyone maybe is good at it, but there's something that everyone can bring to the table in a brainstorm. Like, I think you're getting ideas out of more introverted people, or, when creating that environment for it. But when it comes to idea, I was trying to think through something that I've been wanting to do with my team. And I'm like, okay, how can I do this? And so how can I do it in the most simple way? And I always think back to just like the MVP, like the minimum viable product. I'm always thinking, okay, I want it to look like this. I want it, like, let's say like for a YouTube channel, I want the YouTube channel to be, full of videos and everything perfect and the right, keywords and all the tags and everything perfect. But what's possible? Like, what's possible for us to do? And then just start writing it down. Like, okay, how can we do these videos in a way that's not gonna, we don't have to like hire videographers, spend hours on video writing, like all of, kind of what I would love to happen, but what's simple and essential and really going to help our clients to, in right now. So I think that's the thing. Like we look at things, like we look at what we want to achieve and accomplish, and it's that perfect beautiful. Even our podcast, like we started this thing and it's evolving and growing and we're learning and kind of
It's
figuring things
perfect.
out.
It doesn't need anything. It doesn't
It's
need
perfect.
anything.
But we kind of like broke it down and just made it simple, right? I mean, we could have spent months and months like going to podcast courses and making everything perfect before we hit that button. But and you're just like, no, let's just, even when we started doing the live, you're like, let's just go live. Let's just do it.
You know, that's a really good point, because even in starting out the podcast, you're right. There's so much, the list of prep work that you could do on any project is a long list. And some people fall in love with the list as a way to procrastinate.
Yes.
They fall in love with the idea. I'm speaking about myself. I have totally done this. And you gotta, spend some time figuring out how you feel about what happens when this works. Because it might not be that you perceive your project as painful. It's just complicated. And if it's complicated, you don't know what to do next, or you don't know what to do first. And what you actually did to help bring simplicity to our project was you said, well, let's put it on the calendar. Let's just do every single Tuesday. And that's what we did in 2018. We did Tuesdays. It was always on the calendar. We had something to talk about. And there's something magical about when things show up in your calendar and it's time to go.
Yep.
It's time to do the thing. And doing the thing is actually preparing you for doing it well. Because it's not practice that makes perfect. It's perfect practice that makes perfect. And we figured out a lot of things along the way, some technical things. And when I was coaching high school basketball, I had some young guys come up to me. They come up in groups sometime and they go, hey, how did you get better at dunking? And they're like, are there some things that we can do in the weight room? They were specifically asking about the weight room. What exercises can we do to get better at dunking? I said, well, the exercises that you do to get better at dunking are not here in the weight room. They're in the gym. Go dunk. Lower the hoop to whatever you need to get to dunk, and then keep pushing the hoop higher and higher and higher, because it's the action of jumping with the ball in your hand that trains your muscles to do that. You can also put some weights on your body while you do that so that you get stronger. You increase the resistance. And but they were looking for something in the weight room to help them get better at jumping. And yeah, there's a couple of little things, but the best thing I found is just to jump.
Yep.
Get better, jump. You want to get better at podcasting? Podcast.
Yes. If you want to get better at writing, write. But that's the thing. I feel like in this world of just like, there's so much content, there's so much, we have access to so many things. And when we start thinking through, you could do videos and you can do podcasts and there's so many things that we can do. And then we just become overwhelmed and we don't really, we don't do any of them. And then B, we make it complicated because we don't just start to do it and just kind of like see what shows up. And so there's something really freeing about starting a creative project with the idea of, I have no expectations. I don't know what this is going to be. And I want to put it out into the world. I want to start doing it. I think it's going to be good for other people, and just start. And I mean, I tell people that have challenges because it's easy for us to kind of, we don't want to be criticized and we don't want, we have that fear of what other people are going to think of us. And I'm like, listen, what we need to do really is like sit down, and before you put out any kind of creative work, you have to know and believe that, like, believe your message so much more than you care about the haters or the people that are going to say, what are you doing this for? Or that's not good. Or what are you thinking? You know, like you have to
Hit me with
believe
that
that.
again. That was beautiful, Kate. Hit me with that again.
Believe more in yourself and the work than you care about the haters, about the critics.
Good night, everybody. I'm curious about like when you're doing some big task, and I've learned to kind of make lists on things that I want to work on, and that's how this studio got done. I was obsessed about the list. Do you do any apps or project management stuff? Like I think Basecamp is still really popular for project management. Do you do any stuff like that with your team?
I use Trello for a lot of kind of keeping track of them, and like the work that we're doing. And then together we use Google Docs so much. Just everything is like, where can you find it? Google, like go to Google Docs before you ask anything for anyone. That's been really helpful for us as a team, just because we've just like cleaned out all of this clutter of things that like, this is from 2 years ago and these presentations that are outdated. And so we've kind of, one of the girls on my team, she's very organized and amazing and a designer. So she's just like, she's a very like, this is the way things need to be. And so she's kind of taken on that task of, this is our new folder where everything is and it's housed. And like, so everything now when I'm looking for something, I always just check there first. And I am just, it's such a great feeling of, oh, we all know where to go. So that's really what we've been working on, which has been, yeah, really helpful. But no, we don't use like other systems like that.
Tell me about Trello, because my son, who just turned 18, was telling me about Trello because he follows some developers and game designers who use Trello. Apparently there's a public side to Trello that you can inform your community about what's coming.
Yeah, no, there's a lot that you can do with Trello that I don't use that feature, but yeah, I there's definitely, just like anything, like with Evernote, there's so many other cool things you can do with Evernote, but I kind of use the basic stuff.
And speaking of Evernote, because we want to give some tips and tricks to people about simplicity, you know who's the best at Evernote? Michael Hyatt.
Is he?
He's put so much free stuff out there. He's got some videos. He's got some helpful PDFs you can download for free on how to use Evernote in your life and in your business, and tips and tricks for how to organize it. He really helped me to see the simplicity of a software program, because he showed me exactly where I should look in order to get started quickly and how to tag things so you could find them quickly. There's some great tips in there. I'm not gonna claim any of them, and I'm not gonna run down my favorites. I'm just gonna tell you, go look up Michael Hyatt. He's a prolific publisher and an awesome spirit in the world. Cool human being. I don't know him personally, but I know a lot of people who do work with him personally, and good stuff about Evernote.
Really?
I love Evernote, and I love Dropbox. And
yeah.
I know that you love Google Docs, which is a little bit Evernote and a little bit Dropbox, and Google Docs drives me crazy. I can't handle it.
It does?
The only reason I go to Google Docs, Kate, is because you sent me something in Google Docs. That's it. And I love Google everything.
That's so funny.
Wait, is it still called Google Docs, or is it Google Drive?
Oh, it's Google Drive. You're right. It's Google Drive. It is Google Drive. But yeah, Everett, I'll have to check out Michael Hyatt. He has a new book coming out about productivity.
Really?
Yeah, it's. I think it releases in April.
Well, I hope there's an Audible version of it coming out, because that's how I take in my my books. So, you know, while we don't need the latest and greatest technology to get simplicity in our lives, we just spent the last 10 minutes talking about the technology, and it's not the latest and greatest. But if you're not a digital person, Kate Bowman, like a lot of our trajectory listeners are not digital people. Any tips, any suggestions for them? Are you a journaler? Do you journal?
Yes, I do journal.
Pink polka dots.
Big polka dot.
Kate's holding up if you're listening to this, you're not watching. Kate's holding up her journal, which happened to be at her fingertip. It's black with pink polka dots all over
That's
it.
right.
Very
That's
fun.
right. I have multiple journals, and I keep a little idea pad in my purse, and then I'll take that and then I'll put it into Evernote, because gone are the days where I was like, what notebook did I put that great idea about these videos? So I'll do that. But yeah, I journal. In fact, you know what is interesting? After I read Atomic Habits by James Clear and just love that book. Oh, you got it.
Kate, look what my friend sent me in the mail.
That's so nice of them.
It was you. Just making sure you know.
Were you excited to get it?
You know where I'm going to read it?
On your hammock?
In the hammock.
So after I read that book, I was like, there were some things that I've been wanting to be more consistent in my life, and journaling was one of them, because it's kind of like those like on again, off again type things. And then I read a post on Derek Sivers, and he talks all about, what is it? Sievers? I always say it wrong, I guess. Sorry, Derek. Derek Sievers. But he talks about like a daily journal, and how just at the end of your day. And so anyway, some of my clients that I'm actually coaching, when we talk about their habits, like daily journaling is one of those things that, like, because a lot of them are executives and CEOs, it's like, so just having a day at the end of the day to write these journals, and the stories that are coming out of what people are learning by journaling every day, and kind of just like talking about the day and what happened, what they noticed, what they're seeing, and like how they're feeling. It's just been remarkable. So I'm continuing to do my daily journal, and so that's kind of I've journaled always, but never like super consistent for like extended periods of time, just kind of here and there every now and again. But yeah, so journaling.
The last time I journaled was when I was stuck on a 5-day cruise to the Bahamas.
Really?
They stuck. It was a lovely cruise. It was a lovely cruise, and I had no reason to complain. I was being paid to be there as a speaker for a conference that was held on a cruise ship to the Bahamas. So that's the last time I did a lot of writing. It was like, I am bored out of my mind.
Really? That's so interesting. I would have thought that you were a journaler.
Yeah.
Because you're so introspective.
Do you have any help for me? Can you turn a mountain journaler into a journaler?
I mean, you're just, to me, so introspective, and you read, and you're such a voracious reader and consumer of content. I guess for you, like because you know what you're good at? You're good at kind of putting things together. You're good at whiteboarding stuff. You're good at taking concepts and ideas that you learn and helping others understand it through visual, through story. Like, that's how I look at what you do. Like, even your emails that you send, like, you're a storyteller. You're very thoughtful about how you communicate with people. I often quote you, because from years ago, words mean things. Words mean things. Oh my gosh, then you would love, what's that Mark Twain quote that I just read about writing? Because you will love this. The difference between the almost right word and the right word is a really large matter. It's the difference between the lightning bug and the lightning. I love that quote, because it's writers, when you read a book that is so, it's going to stand the test of time. It's just so thoughtful. They know this quote. They get that quote. There's a lot of books that, like, there's a lot of fluff in there. But then you read a book like Matthew Kelly, like a Matthew Kelly book, and it is all amazing. So yeah, so I feel like the bottom line, keep it simple, right? If you have an idea, if there's something you want to do, something you want to try, just start doing it. You know, our friend Damian Ross, he did his he started doing those videos, that road to 300, where he wanted to do one video a day for, no, he was going to do it for a whole year, 300 videos in a year. And he did 300 videos in 300 days. And
Who
he's
did?
now Damien, you know Damien.
Oh, yeah, now he's at like 330 something.
Where is
He's
he?
in Oregon right now. He's in Oregon.
Oh, I know. You guys need to meet up.
No, his beard is way better than mine.
He does have a great beard.
Can you imagine 2 6'5", 6'6" guys with beards? Okay, I'm gonna have to work on my sweater collection before I look at me. I'm getting ready to put on a sweater. You got Damien Ross. Plan D. Everybody, go check out Damian Ross.
Dude,
Love
he's
other stuff. A video a day. Have you seen the last couple ones that he's done?
his last one was the best with the mirror.
That was
Oh
crazy.
man. And you know
That was
what's
crazy.
cool?
What do
He
you
just,
wanna do?
oh yeah, he's getting super creative with his editing. But that's the thing. He started Road to 300 because he's like, I'm going to do a video a day. Like, no expectation. I don't know what this is going to do. I don't know where this is going to lead me. Like, there was no expectation. And now he's changed it to Road to 1000 because it's made such an impact in his life. He's meeting
He's
different
great.
people, doing cool oh, he's totally nuts. And I love every second of it. He is such an incredible human being. And he's someone who he shares so many very deep emotional thoughts that most people don't. And I think he's been really, I think that he helps more people than he really knows with what he shares. And it started.
Hey, shout out, buddy. We got
Shout
Damien.
out.
Damien can come into the studio, and I'll sit over there in the hammock, and you can interview him.
Yes, let's do
Cool.
it.
That'd be cool.
I
So
would love it.
thank you, Lynn Miner Rosen. She says, have you heard about the new book, Digital Minimalism: Choosing a Focused Life in a Noisy World? No.
Yes, Cal Newport, right?
Oh, Cal Newport. I know who that is. All right, I'm gonna get that. God, my list of books is just.
Has
I'm reading
Lynn
right
read
now.
it? Because I want to see if she's read it. Because I
She
was
hasn't read it yet.
I
She
just
hasn't read it yet,
all right.
but she has it. All right, Lynn. If you read it, I'll read it.
Book club. Remember we talked about a trajectory book club?
We started a trajectory book club
We did? With what? Atomic Habits?
when we talked about starting. Apparently, the thing when you broadcast that you're going to do something, people just go do it. So that's what Lynn just did. She started.
She
It's
said,
brand new, she says. So people just take our ideas and they run with it. Apparently, there is now a book club. Here, Lynn just added another one to it, Digital Minimalism.
love it.
And here, Atomic Habits and the Culture Solution. These are staying on my desk because I'm reading them.
Yes.
And I'm also balancing that with listening to Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. And you know what? I'm making it required reading for all of my clients.
Really?
Yes.
I love that idea.
Yes.
It is
required.
a great book.
Yeah. Because he teaches the simple things. Simplicity is our theme. He teaches the simple things that are otherwise really hard to teach about negotiating and just about making people feel at ease and making progress on a single track. And that's what we're talking about today. It's all about negotiation. Sometimes it's negotiating with yourself, but it's all negotiation. So Never Split the Difference, an incredible book about negotiating from an FBI perspective, incredibly helpful on the business side, and anybody who sells or markets anything, eyeball to eyeball with another human being. Read it.
Yeah.
Call to action, Kate. You got one for me?
Yes. So this is what we were discussing prior to me knowing that we were live.
I snuck that one up on you.
Yes, but that's cool because that's what you do. It's your thing.
I'm that
So
guy.
this is what I was thinking that we could do with everyone and our listeners, because going to the theme of simplicity, it's easy to overcomplicate and put way too much on our to-do lists. And there's a lot of things that people that are listening keep saying they want to do, right? They want to meditate, they want to write, they want to do more videos, they want to, whatever that thing is that you keep saying you're going to do and you just don't do, because that's just what happens. Because again, we just overcomplicate. It's not, we make it not simple. So for the challenge, I thought for 30 days. So like for 30 days, pick that one thing that you're going to either start doing or stop doing, and seriously commit to 30 days. Just commit to the 30 days. So maybe it's to write, maybe it's to record a video, maybe it's to read 10 pages a day, meditate, whatever that is. What are you going to do? And I really believe that if you do that for 30 days, it'll change the trajectory of your life in some way, just like it did for Damien.
You just nominated yourself for every call to action on Trajectory from now on. Every single one. Okay, until next time, get trajected.
Hey, thanks for listening. If we could, we'd reach over and give you a big hug. But since we can't, before you go, can we ask you a favor? In order for us to create shows you can't wait to listen to, we need your feedback. So please head over to iTunes and leave us a review. It'll only take a minute, but it will mean the world to us, especially if you decide to give us 5 stars. And if you really loved it, take a screenshot, share it on your favorite social media sites, and invite your friends to join the party. Until next time, get trajected. Oh my gosh, I love doing them live. That's so fun.